Hi everyone, it's Will and Angela doing a Thursday crossword yet again. This crossword we are a bit nervous about at first because we saw that it was by Jeff Chen, and Will basically said, yeah, we're not going to do this one very well, but in more crude terms.
Look, it's nothing against Jeff Chen. Like, we love a lot of the clues on here. It's just that when we were at Lollapuzzoola, that was our nemesis puzzle. We could not crack that one at all. Puzzle number 4, I still get nightmares about it. So
I've been having recurring
nervous, to say the least, looking at this one. But I think it ended up going pretty well. We finished with 19 minutes 1 second, which is by far our best Thursday time since we started doing this video series. And we were even able to crack the theme pretty early, thanks to Angela.
So we were filling it out. This top left corner went really fast. And we filled in basically the other clues, and we were like, what is Islam? And then I was like, it's probably Islam. So we thought, they're missing, some of these words are missing their first letter. And first we thought it might be the first
just
vowel.
Eyes or something.
Yeah, or just eyes. So we were like, okay, we're on the watch for this. And then as we started filling in the top section of the crossword, we were like, our words won't fit in these spaces. And so that ended up being bears. I think there was also emerges.
This one was emerges.
Emerges and Eastern, which I feel like made complete sense to me when I was filling them out with Will. We just got them. I don't know. Renunciation took us a while.
The theme went pretty quickly. I mean, we did it. So what took us a while was figuring out what the pattern actually was. We were sitting there, we were like, I get it. There's words missing at the top of, there's letters missing at the top of these words, but we couldn't figure out which words, why, and whether there was a meaning to the letters until we went down here, which I think you actually wrote it out, right?
Yeah, I was like, there's no pattern or rhyme or reason to any of these letters. So then I started writing down some notes, and it spells out iceberg in a very ugly way. So then,
even in this digital age, paper still triumphs over the computer.
Yeah, so then when we saw hidden trouble indicator, we were like, iceberg, tip of the iceberg. So it turns out iceberg was just cut off from these words, which is cool.
ICEBERG. Ta-da!
Ta-da!
So in terms of clues, one that really jogged a memory in my head was this one right here, the Mosque of Omar, which is located in Jerusalem, which if you have read or watched the intro, post, and video to this blog, you know that a lot of our crosswording camaraderie and tradition started when we studied history abroad in Jerusalem about a year and a half ago. And I want to tell a quick story that I remember about the Mosque of Omar, because I think it is a really fascinating place. Basically, it is located, and I remember it because you can see the sign, and it's immediately next to the Holy Sepulchre Church, literally right next to it. And eventually we learned the backstory. The way that the historical narrative goes is in the 7th century, when the Caliph Umar took Jerusalem, he was at the Church of Sepulchre, which was the holy site in the city at the time. And when offered the chance to pray there, he instead, not wanting to confound the holy sites between the Muslim and the Christian populations, and wanting to allow the Christian population to have their own holy site, picked up a stone from the ground literally threw it in a random direction, and where it landed was where they built the Mosque of Umar. And I just think that's a really cool and kind of like beautiful historical story.
One of
Yeah.
the main things we talked about a lot on the program was how like a lot of the religions coexisted for a long time, and I feel like that story sort of embodies that.
Yeah. It's a very it's a story with a very optimistic bent to it. It makes you feel warm and fuzzy inside, which isn't necessarily something that happens often when you talk about the relationship between two different religions in the city of Jerusalem.
Yeah.
Um, and hopefully a story that I told somewhat fairly and accurately. Yeah. So, were there any? You were pulling out some interesting words, kind of from the ether.
I know. I don't know where they were coming from. I got Lapin, which is I think 51 down, which is a word I did not know I knew until I was like Lapin, and then I was like, I have no idea where that came from.
I still have no idea what it means. I was lucky because I was like rabbit foot.
And another one I got was prate, which is also another word that I just don't know how I know. It's like it's a good word. I should use it more often.
It sounds like something that like Nana would tell you,
Are we doing
Not
this
to do
again?
like the pun thing again, but it does like it sounds like something I'd read in like I don't know. I read a lot of Flannery O'Connor short stories last week, so it sounds like something that like the old like racist grandmother would say about their children. Like, they just prate on and on, or something like I don't know.
Yeah, no, I could totally see that being the use case for prate.
Also, we were trying to figure out the etymology of word Esperanto. So hit us up if you know that one, because we were on Google Translate, like translating Esperanto into
Esperanto. It does not mean hopeful person in Esperanto, apparently. But we do not know what language this is from at all. So you'll have to let us know.
But yeah, I mean, overall, we liked the clues. We thought some of them were pretty fun. The stretchy, I think, is cute. Having Satan be the leader of the land
down under. I was thinking about the song.
Yeah, me too.
I was like, I don't know anything. Down under. Okay.
I like Jock as well.
Athletic type or athletic wear?
Yeah.
Jeff Chen, your clues are great. They weren't too hard this time around, so we were happy. Yeah.
All right, so with that, we're going to leave you for another week. Thank you for tuning in.
Check us out on Twitter and follow us. Fund us to go to more tournaments in the future.
Check us out next week. Bye.
Bye.
The grid is kind of suggesting a bit of a frowny face here.
I think it looks more like a goat.
A goat?
That? Maybe a sheep with a hat on?
Oh, I totally see it. Oh my god. Oh, it's like a sheep wearing a little cowboy hat.
Yeah.
It's like a sheep listening to the new Mitski album or something. That's too cute.
Yeah.